What is going on, everyone? My name is BoIt, and I'm back with some more Age of Titans action. Spawning in the top of the map in the blue color playing Isis is the expert Spoeft. His opponent today in the red color playing Ra is Urt. Uh, this is, from what I gathered, was a best of three series. Spoeft is up currently 1-0 and been playing some remarkable Age of Titans. He's like his game sense and knowledge is just really, really, really strong. Uh, Anyhow, this map is Tundra, and it's a very, very high hunt map, which is definitely going to favor our ISIS player. The reason for that is Ra relies heavily on farms in the fact that he gets rain, which boosts his farming by a lot. So uh, when a map's got a lot of hunt on it, it means that either the player has to forego that original technology for quite some time, and the bonus sort of dries up because rain affects the entire map. It's not just Ra. I mean, the Ra player gets the most resources out of it, but if the Ra player starts farming at the same point as the Isis player, then the Isis player is going to then the Ra player is only going to have a 100% advantage rather than a 200% advantage. Um, so it's something to think about. Hunting isn't a bad thing at all. Like, you can still get away with hunting that, grabbing that, getting to the royal cage, and abusing that the fact that you've done a different thing. Like, it's always a possibility. It's not like you're locked into one thing. Is that mining camp looks a little bit incorrectly placed there. There we go. That's better. I think I might talk a bit about strategy because I feel like this is one of the matchups which I know the best. There's so much that's possible here. I feel like it's slightly in the favor of the ISIS player, or even strongly in the favor of the ISIS player. However, there's definitely counter strategies and strategies you can do to pull off XYZ. ISIS's strongest strategy, in my opinion, is the 7-minute 30 heroic age with a 10-minute Ancestors Eclipse push to Gold Starve or get 4 town centers. Obviously, there is counters to this. Urt can do a very sick timing with Scarabs, getting out 2 or 3 Scarabs, Eclipse pushing before the 10-minute mark, forcing Ancestors Eclipse you should be used defensively, and then getting that game back into more of a stalemate so that both players at equal grounds and the Ra player can simply outplay his ISIS opponent. Um, on top of that, the Ra player could just play standard. He can go Hathor. And he can get aggressive with that Hathor and prevent any forward Migdol using Locust. And then he can use rocks to raid with the catapult in the late game if he can get there. He can be down 2 to 4 town centers and still be able to run around that rock with the 2 catapults and just harass town centers and make life difficult for the ISIS player. ISIS also has other things he can do. He can go through Hathor himself, which is, it's not actually as bad as people think. I think it's a really safe option. It means that you're going to have that late game, and you know you're going to have that late game. You've got the fear factor from the possibility of Ancestors as well, which means that the Ra player is not going to get aggressive. So you have the opportunity to plant an aggressive Migdol because you know that your Ra player is not going to be able to do the same because it's the fear factor of Ancestors. So I think Hathor is a very strong choice as well. I do believe that Bast is the only option for both of these players just because it's so strong in this matchup. So we're going to definitely see Bast out of both these players, and I'm expecting Ancestors. Actually, I just noticed that there's a second monument here, so there's not much point in going heavy myth units with Isis unless you're doing a Hathor sort of play. You can get the 2 monuments up and not be actually going for heavy myth units, but I feel like that signifies something to me, and I feel like the Spoeft is going to be going through Hathor, and if did scout that out, I believe he could make that judgment. Noting that the monument's up so quickly. I mean, you could just afford it simply for the fact that there's so much hunt on this map that you just feel like throwing it up, but I believe that getting, I don't know if he's got it, if getting that Flood of the Nile technology up before that second monument would have been a better choice if he wasn't going for monument, favor gathering sort of things. But yeah, What else can I say? Well, you see Pickaxe Husbandry getting upgraded, got upgraded by Spoeft. Spoeft now getting, by Spoeft now getting Pickaxe. He's got Hunting Dogs. I would expect to see him get Husbandry as well because he can afford it, and there's nothing really else to spend that wood that he's gathered on. It's a really strong technology. It makes you gather resources from food faster because it cuts the walking distance in half. I think it's one of the most underrated technologies in the game. We do see fast farms coming out for ERT. Both players going through Bast. We see both players, yep, definitely. And farms coming up for Ert. He's going to be able to cast Rain, get a very strong economy, probably hit the heroic age at 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Otherwise, the option would be to do something more like go up at maybe 9 minutes and 30 seconds with a second town center. You pump that town center, but normally you see the tar technology we should do coming out if you want it, if you actually want that. So we do see that finally Husbandry has been picked up by Spoeft. Spoeft going through Bast has already been stated, and he's definitely going to be going for some fast heroic sort of playstyle, I believe. He's got the food, he's got the gold, just needs to get that armory up. And it looks like, I think there's, yeah, he's going to be throwing his armory up right here. I personally prefer to use my food villages with that armory because you know exactly when you're going to advance. He could have thrown it up right now and built that last villager, get that last 50 of food from those villagers and be up by the 7 minute and 30 second mark. However, he's using the wood villagers to build that armory, which means it's just going to simply have a stronger economy but a later advance. And it's definitely not a bad play on his behalf. I just prefer to do it the other way because of that map presence and the fact you can throw up a Migdol in the face of your opponent and get that map control. I think that the best place on the map for the ISIS player to be aggressive and place his Migdol will be right here. That gets control of this town center and this town center and a gold mine, and restricts the Ra player to this side of the map. But we'll see exactly what happens. Looks like he's definitely not even close to getting to that heroic age. I think that 8:30 is going to be the amount, probably the time that he does get up because he's got the rain going, so the food's going to come up. He's only got to gather 200 more gold with the Pharaoh empowering that. So I think that in about 20 seconds he should... Actually, he's getting shaft mine, so maybe a little bit longer. Maybe 8:45 he'll be up. But he's definitely going to have the resources. And it's just going to be a little bit later. And here's something to point out. I didn't actually see the Sphinx coming out, but there we go. He's actually got 3 Sphinx out. And what you can do is you can start noticing things in the game and judging what your opponent actually can do if he's got something on the map. Ert decided to produce a couple of Sphinx, which meant that his favor was not going to be there to make any scarabs, which means Spoef doesn't have to worry about a scarab rush threat, so he doesn't have to react to that. He can build a Migdol in a more aggressive spot. He can do what he really wants. And we do see Hathor for Ert, and we do see Hathor. Oh, he's actually got Hathor as well. Definitely called that one right. So we're going to see the Migdol probably thrown up at this location. Looks like it's where he's going to be mining from. He wants to protect that, and he's not moving any villages forward. He's only got villages back here. I think another thing to note that's really important is the resource distribution of Spoef. He's only got 3 villages on food, which means he only can really produce the food from the town center. The rest of his villages are at wood, and well, he's actually taken a fair few of them off to build up that Migdol. He's got enough wood to produce 4 chariots, 5 by the time that gets up definitely, and he's going to be producing Pastucius Ra, actually just Pastucius from the temple right over here. And he's got his rock flying around. Where is it? He's got his rock flying around over here, picking off a villager for free, and he's just going to keep on running around and trying to find what he can. We do see a little bit of a Sphinx fight going on over here. Ert going to be retreating that Sphinx, and Spoef going to be treating his own Sphinx. I don't believe you should ever lose a Sphinx to own the other Sphinxes just because you can run them away and they're at the same speed and they can do the same amount of damage. I don't think it's possible to lose a Sphinx if you control it correctly. So we see Migdol coming up on this location for Ert. Ert's actually going to be behind a little bit on the economic side. And I'm actually a little bit intrigued here. Eclipse just cast... Oh, it was Eclipse cast to stop the Locust coming down on the town center. He's going to actually use this rock to come over here and intercept Spoeft's rock, and if he can find it, then he can really, if we go to Earth's perspective, he actually hasn't found it, but he's got it queued over to this location just to check it out and see what's happening. We see a little bit of a raid coming on over here with these Sphinx. Going to try and pick off one of these crocodiles, but the Pharaoh already there picking off units, really quickly managing to pick off one crocodile for one Sphinx. Should probably get out of there. He's going to lose another Sphinx. Going to try and pick off this third crocodile, but I don't think he's going to get it. And he's going to lose that Cryo Sphinx right there. Back to Spoeft's perspective, he's actually got out 5 chariots. I really think he should be building up a siege workshop as he just throws that down right now. Going to be throwing out some more chariots. Going to get the siege tower and trying to make a push on this Migdol. Does he know that this Migdol's here? No, he doesn't. So he's got no idea where his opponent's Migdol is. So he's just going to probably, he's got to scout out. He needs to know what's happening. He's actually going to find it right here. He's going to throw his chariots right into the fray, and as soon as he spots that, he's probably going to retreat back. Actually, he's not paying attention. Bad spot. He's taking a bit of damage there, but I don't think he'll lose any units. As I say that, he's almost his. Anyhow, he's just going to retreat now. He's got all of these crocodile. I call them crocodiles because they are crocodiles, but I can't really pronounce the name of them. Shoutcasted. Anyhow, I really love ISIS and Egyptian players who build priests just because it gets that extra healing on your units so they don't die. But that one chariot's a little bit annoying right there. He's probably going to lose that to a priest as he retreats back into this location. A really nice choke point for him here. He's got the Pestuous just at a range that the priest can't really deal with him, and the chariot's just going to be dealing damage as they will. And finally, siege power is coming out for Spoeft. On the other hand, doesn't actually have that much gold, yet he's got shaft mine. He probably should get the next gold mine upgrade, probably take some villagers off of the wood because he's got such an excess amount, and that's probably just the biggest thing that's going wrong for at the moment. It's just he doesn't have any gold. Spoeft losing a couple of units, lose a couple of units, just going to retreat out here, a little bit of skirmish. I think what Spoeft probably should do is get maybe 3 or 4 siege towers and eclipse push here. He's got so many crocodiles here that they're just going to rip ridiculous amounts of damage. The chariots can pick off the priests and the pharaoh really quickly, and then you can just go from there. The other thing that I think that would be really smart for Spoeft to do is simply just grab these 2 middle town centers. Perhaps the first thing he maybe grab this town center, do the push, and then grab the next town center would be really smart. One thing that you can take note from StarCraft 2 is this idea that when you push, you can take something which would be free. It's like make an attack and take a base. So I feel like if Spoeft makes a push, he can take the town center and he can control the game. Ert's really got the gameplay that he needs to make the plays to stay in this game. I don't believe it's going to be easy for him just because there's so much that can go wrong and so little that he can do. I actually feel that at this point, if Spoeft were to build, instead of another Pestuous, he would get the Pestuous Rise. We see the 4th siege tower coming in, and this impending push is coming in right now. The Pestuous picking off villages after villages. And some nice micro by actually. He's picking off a couple of chariots there for free. A couple of those priests are falling, and the siege towers trying to take down the Migdol stronghold. But as you can see here, these Pestuous just do a ridiculous amount of damage to those villages. It's in effect 2 Pestuous just actually kill off a villager, and he does manage to pick off that Migdol stronghold without even casting Eclipse. So really strong play by Spoeft there. Nice timing there with those siege towers, noting that was actually behind by a little bit and didn't have any siege towers out himself, didn't have any units which could really stop the siege tower push. And with those Pestuous, he's actually managing to nullify that villager bonus damage on the siege towers and just makes them pay. Really, just like you didn't defend yourself correctly against this push, and basically that's what's going to happen. So Spoeft has a couple of options here now. He can either push in on this location and take the game. If he knew that had little to no gold, he probably would do that, but I'm not sure if he does. Or he can grab this town center, go Mythic Age, and then take the game at a later stage. I think the safer option would be the latter of the two, grabbing that second town center and going to the Mythic Age. However, I think that regardless, an Eclipse push on the town center would win the game. What needs to do is somehow survive, and if Spoef goes for the safety option, needs to note that and just go straight to the Mythic Cage, get Son of Osiris out, and try and deal with this Myth unit threat that Spoeft has. Either that or get catapults out and do some sort of damage. I guess Horus is an option if he can make a push, get the town center down, and something else. So we see a little bit of a red yon over here. I'm not sure if I like this. He's actually not doing anything. That market's not going to be doing anything. There's all these units over here which are going to be doing a ridiculous amount of damage. So we see that Clip's going down for Spoef, but he's not really controlling those crocodiles to the best of his ability. Actually losing one. Going to be losing a second one if he's not careful. The Speoft of have been ripping into the Speoft of Spoeft. I don't think that he really controlled this to the best of his ability, and the chariots are coming in from behind, picking up a bunch of these chariot archers on Spoeft, and Spoeft over here with these chariots not doing anything with him. He's got half his army not in the battle, and is really taking control of this fight, and I don't think this is going too badly for at all. This might just be what he needs to get back into the game. He's going to be training these chariots away, and he managed to pick off a bunch of Spoeft units, and Spoeft losing that crocodiles, those Speoft for basically nothing, because he's managed to pick up a couple of Speoft as well, and instead of it being like 6 Speoft to 4, it's now 2 to 1. So extremely clever play by nice micromanagement, and Spoef now has the big I don't know how to say it, but he's got like the duty now. He has to retake this game that he's almost thrown out. He's still got a bunch of these idle chariots. You have an idle chariot, an idle military banner for a reason. You need to use that. So if he could move those, that's eight chariots, so like 24 population or something. That's a lot of idle units not doing anything. In any case, looks like the town center is gearing up to be taken. He's almost got the gold to take it. He's probably... I need to check to make sure he's got upgrades. He doesn't have Bowsaw. It makes me a little bit sad. I mean, he does have 1400 wood, but he could have less villages on wood, get Bowsaw, and then he would have more resources in other locations. And there we go. Town center is going up. One thing I've been noticing from this game is that Spoef doesn't use the right villages to build stuff. Like, he had all these villages close by. I guess they were wood villages and he doesn't really need to gather that at the moment, so that's why he chose them. But still, that being said, I don't know, it would have been quicker to move the gold villages over here and then move the wood villages over to gold or something like that. But regardless, he chose to do that. I just think it's something interesting to point out. A little bit of micro going on here by we do have to check that the speed of the chariot archers actually does mean that they dodge arrows. So that's one thing that Ra has over the other Egyptian players in Egyptian wars. He can actually dodge arrows, which Isis chariots can't, because they only have the 5.00 speed, which isn't enough to dodge arrows, as we know that we need 5.50 or greater. Yeah, I still would really like to see the Hathor being used. Like, you go Hathor, and I guess you go he went for it for the Speoft and the late game style, but he didn't end up actually using the locust, so he might use that at a later stage just to seal the game. But I don't know. I think it would be a really smart play if he had just simply sent one chariot in after the initial eclipse of to cast Locust on the Migdols. Maybe he just forgot about it because he's so used to Nephthys play. In any case, the chariot archers for both players are now heavy upgraded. They still don't have any armor upgrades. Actually, has the copper shields upgrade, really powerful upgrade there, and you should always get it if you can afford it. Speoft can afford it. Look, he's actually finally getting some upgrades there just as I started talking about it. Maybe he noticed that was doing it, so he's like, okay, I can do it as well. You do see it's 4 town centers now to 2 town centers. Fortified town centers for both players has been upgraded. Again, no Bowsaw for Spoeft yet. yeah, he's actually finally got both souls. So that's really makes me happy when I see that. But the micro for look at this. He's actually managed to lose no units. They pick off one of two of Spoeft's right there. So Spoeft needs to be a little bit more careful with his units right there. He's actually missing more fire as well. Actually trying to pick off that Pharaoh. Not going to be able to do that. He can retreat that back. He could have garrisoned it into the siege tower. Spoeft now going to be just retreating a little bit away from and losing another chariot for free, but the chariot just gets instantly reproduced from the Migdal. He's sitting at 192 of 192 supply. He's got the market going, he's got the trade route going, he's got the Pharaoh empowering the trade route, so he's getting all of that gold coming in extremely effectively. Going to be going to the Mythic Age extremely quickly. And we do see that this fight's still going in, and I don't know if I like this by Spoeft. He could really be focusing on forcing to make a move rather than fighting in weird spots which allow micro to happen. One thing which you can do if you feel like your economy is in front of your opponents, or your army is in front of your opponents, because it doesn't really matter how much army you have. You can always just, as I missed something, I need to shut up. Now going through Horus is actually going to be trying to do one of those pushes where he casts Tornado onto this town center or this town center and make a push through and grab that. But we do see that this micro battle still going on. As I get back to that point, you can always beat an army with less army if you micro better than your opponent, but if you put your opponent into a position where he can't micro, then you're going to be able to take the game extremely easily, and it's just that's how you get around beating people who have really strong micros. You see a couple of villagers walking in here right into that tornado, losing their lives, but this looks like this tornado is probably going to be able to take out the town center of Spoeft, but there's not really any impending push coming over here. He's sitting on 140 supply with not that many upgrades, and he doesn't have much coming out of his armory. He does have burning pitch, so that's going to help with taking out those siege towers. The town center of Spoeft falling right now. He probably already has the resources. He actually throwing that town center right back up, knows what to do with that. You do see the Avenger coming out here. He's taking a little bit of a spin there, but he does so quickly to a mass of chariot folly. He's actually only got 6. He's got a fair bit of health, but the 40 pierce armor is the big thing. He just takes a ridiculous amount of damage, and he doesn't have that much inbuilt defense against human soldiers. I think, I could be wrong, but it always seems that those units die really quickly. The Avenger, and we do see that this push coming in now, trying to take out the siege workshop. We do see does probably have some catapults coming out now. There we go. He has a catapult. Might want to find that rock if he still has it. If he doesn't, he might want to build another one, start rock raiding if he can, but he's sitting on no gold because Spoeft has been managed to throw up a really nice wall there, preventing that trade route of going down. The gold mine's gone there, the gold mine's being cut off there. It's got no gold coming, he's only got trade to come, like trading stuff to stop things from happening. A nice locust swarm going on over there, preventing that Migdal stronghold from going up. A bunch of those villagers dying. He still has like 3,000 gold on that gold mine though. I wouldn't mind seeing him chucking, I don't know, all of those villagers over just to mine it up as quickly as he can, but Spoeft pushing through with the significant population advantage, the significant economy advantage, the significant military prowess, throwing all of his units in here with those war elephants, soaking up the damage from that champion. Chariot, siege towers coming in over, probably going to be trying to take out that. Is Spoeft going through Thoth? Yes, he is. He's going to have that final say with the meteor. Going to be able to take out this location if he so chooses, or this location if this location is dead by the time he gets to the Mythic Age. But by then, I think that ERT is going to have resigned. This is not looking good for him at all. ERT getting that catapult out, might be able to throw a couple of shots over onto the town center, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Spoeft also looks like he's not using mercenary, even though he has the gold to do so. Gonna finally, Thoth comes out. Spoeft chucking down that meteor eventually. Right there, we're gonna see it coming on right here. Gonna knock down that Migdal stronghold in no time whatsoever with those siege towers right across, killing some of his own siege towers with it though. And it looks like Spoeft going to be taking this game 2-0. Really well played by Spoeft. I think that this style is one style which is really underused with the Hathor and the Pest Juice Joss. I don't believe that that it's uncounterable by any stretch of the imagination by Ert. I feel like Ert could have played this game a little bit better. Perhaps if he went through segment, did some form of Scarab Rush, he probably could have won. Or secondly, if he had simply advanced quicker, he went for a very economic play, and as that was the case, he sort of fell over and he didn't have the military to stop any pushes going on. His economic management wasn't that great, but Spoeft, his micro was great though. As one point to make of that, Spoeft on the other hand just managed to outthink, outmaneuver, and outcontrol his opponent. Anyway, my name is BoIt. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please rate, subscribe, and comment below. And I will see you guys next time.